Hi, and welcome to the Online Devo. See, this week, what I want us to focus on is talking about the beginning of Matthew chapter 7, which is where Jesus is addressing them about judging other people. Okay, what we learned on Sunday morning is that Jesus tells us judging is this holy, sacred job that's only meant for God. Like, if we put our hands on it and we kind of get in that mix, we ruin it. We ruin those around us, and it's just misused. Talked about how, like in the movie Lord of the Rings, like when the wrong people got the ring in their hand, the ring was used for ill, for evil. And then also the movie Prince of Persia, when the wrong person has that dagger, then it's used for the wrong purpose. And that's what judgment is. God says, no, let judgment be mine. It is holy, it is sacred. You guys focus on just loving and encouraging one another. So we talked about how we can still correct one another and help each other out in our walk, but we have to have a spirit that is humble and very gracious, okay? Where we're just handing out grace to one another. So when we see a brother or a sister, like, saying something they're not supposed to, talking about somebody like gossiping and those kind of things, that we can say, hey, I don't think it's something God really wants us to do. And I know it's very hard, but we should work on it together. Because what we realize is we never know someone's heart. And even if we did know someone's heart, we never know what has made them who they are. All the experience they've had in their life, the influence their parents and their friends have had on them, just some of the genetics, the way they were born. Like, we will never, ever fully understand somebody. So, if we never can fully understand somebody, how can we ever judge them fairly? That's what God's telling us. Like, I am the only one that knows everyone. I know exactly what they were like when they were a baby. I know everything that's happened to them till right now in this very moment. God being the only one that knows that. So He should be the judge. And He's passing us on. Because a lot of times, this is what I want to talk about today, a lot of Christians, we get together, okay? And initially it's like a relationship, like a dating relationship. It's great, everything's wonderful, there's joy. We feel like we've never felt before. But then we get to know the person. And in a dating relationship, as you get to know them, you start seeing, okay, there's these things I don't like about them. And then there's that pivotal moment where either you decide to keep going on in your dating relationship, or you break up. And a lot of times Christians, just in their friendships, as everything's been great, and now they're starting to get to know each other, and then they start seeing some of each other's sins, and then there's the breakup. Okay? And we do that. Even here at youth group, I talked about on Sunday morning, we do that. We think some of the other people in this room are just absolutely wonderful. But then as we get to know them, we realize that they do have sin. And then it's a breakup. We no longer like them. We no longer think they're Christian anymore. And we should stop doing that to one another. We should just keep encouraging and spurring on one another in love. And that's what Jesus wants us to do. He says, stop with the judgment stuff. Love each other. Encourage one another. Press on towards the goal with one another. Have fellowship together. See, that's what Jesus wants us to understand. He wants us to stop pointing fingers at each other, stop picking at each other, but start encouraging one another. Find the good in people and show that to them. Encourage them. Love them. So that's what I want you to think about this week. I want you to think about how judging is meant for God and God alone. So our job here is to not make up our mind about people, is not to just focus on their sin, but to focus on the good in them. And it's to focus on encouraging them. And it's to focus on loving them. Because if we do that, then everybody is going to feel more motivated and more willing to do the work God has set out for us. And we'll do bigger and greater things together. We'll be a group like no other. So spend some time this week thinking about that. Leave a comment on here about just how judgment's meant for God and how you can maybe be more encouraging, especially to us as a group, but encouraging to those that are around you. Hope you have a great week.